3 minutes to 8 is futuristic Groundhog's Day. The goal is to break the loop, but instead of getting the girl, you win a box of yummy after 8.
When I was a kid, a box of yummy chocolates really turned me on.
Imagine casually playing a game when suddenly...
At 7:57 p.m. you got zapped. The sudden lethal jolt came from faulty wiring strewn across the room. That will teach you not to be so careless with your cords.
What cords? That doesn't make any sense. It turns out your character can only live until 7:57 p.m. sharp. Here he always dies and reincarnates 24 minutes into the past, like Jesus did for our sins. 24 minutes? That's barely enough time to watch an episode of anime or have a wine. Wait, that's too much time. You're probably thinking, how much carnage can I cause in 24 minutes? None in this game, little Jimmy. Instead, you get up, do the same routine, and talk to the same people, expecting a different result. The definition of insanity. I mean, who'd do that? Get woken up at the same early time and waste a chunk of it driving to work, to the same boring job, and finally get home and prepare for the next miserable day. Oh, that's me. Warning. 3 minutes to 8 mostly involves listening to dialogue, some of which contains words I've never even heard of because I'm too working class, so I had to Google the meaning of them. Curse you 1%! Unfortunately, you have to choose the same dialogue to listen to each day to have a chance to progress the story. There should be an option to skip all dialogue rather than wait a second to skip each line. Here's a tip. Try to gather as much objects and objectives. Then try talking to everyone. A new option to progress the story might present itself, or it might not, but it's worth trying. The rest of the gameplay is randomly interacting with objects in the city in the hope you stumble across something, like a hobo looking for a half-eaten sandwich. Yeah, he's here too. Starting a new day, sometimes the location of hidden items change. I'm sure that won't annoy anybody. Or if you're lucky, people will have a new dialogue option. The biggest shock was finding my girlfriend snuck into my flat once I left. Then the next day, a different woman claiming to be my girlfriend did the same thing, and your character can't even tell the difference. Oh, they all look the same sideways. You can't say that anymore. Shush. These women promptly make their way to the bedroom. As a red-blooded male, I naturally follow them to find they're on the bed reading a book. I shout, "Hurry up and take your clothes off, woman!" But she replies, "I'm not hungry right now. Can you wait an hour?" An hour? I've only got 5 minutes before a lead book drops on my head and crushes my skull. At least give me one last hurrah before I croak. Developers Chaos Monger Studios, aptly named, knew what they were thinking when the woman walked into the bedroom. There's even a bum asking if we did the nasty in there. What a tease. I like the expressive 2D pixel art style, showcasing the living, breathing alleyways you walk to and fro. Or when your character stomps his cigarette on the floor, no matter where he is, and no one tells him off. This fast forwards a minute in time. So does entering a different area, which is more convenient. Time stands still as long as you don't leave an area, even though it doesn't stop the hustle and bustle of the city. Work that one out. Voice acting's pretty decent. There's no weak links. Well, the Asian lady sounds a bit off. To be honest, I thought she was a man.
Hi there. What would you like?
What are you selling?
Ramen, best in town, handmade with a recipe passed down from generation to generation. I was taught by my...
I think I get the picture.
That's a check. As for the narrator, I think I've heard his sultry tones from an anime or something. Is he the Dragon Ball Z narrator? I'm not too sure. He's the star of the show, but you don't hear him that much. The music's groovy. It's akin to what you would hear on a YouTube study playlist, which is appropriate because you need to think a lot here. You have two options. You can either choose to play with the keyboard or controller or with the mouse. I chose the first option, but once I did that, I was unable to choose the mouse. I tried restarting the game, it didn't work, so I presume you have to wipe your save history and reinstall the game to have that option again. Speaking of options, it's difficult to see the highlighted text because of the similar background color. These colors should contrast each other, especially to help someone who is colorblind. Also, for some reason, when I use the controller arrows or the keyboard to move the character, he'll stutter and stop. I don't know why, seeing as the controller joysticks work perfectly. I assume all this will be patched, I assume. Also, you can't rebind the keys. Who wants to press Alt? So I opted for the controller. It seemed clunky at first, but I got the hang of cycling through what I want to interact with using the triggers. This may not be everybody's cup of tea though, but if you can get past those challenges, the controls become second nature. I had a pleasant surprise to find I'm in the modern city of Belfast. Finally, Ireland is getting recognition. But no. It turns out 3 minutes to 8 takes the location of your closest city. It is not actually based anywhere. Boo! 3 minutes to 8 has an odd bug where you have to exit and enter the inventory a lot just to use it. Also, the game froze one time on the laptop screen, so the whole game needed rebooted. 3 minutes to 8 that is, not the laptop that was in the game. Fortunately, autosaves activate upon entering a new room, so no progress was lost. Despite listing all the clues in your journal, you have to chat the same dialogue of every person every day. Why can't we skip that step? Each day barely gives you enough time to work something out before you have to start from scratch. After 6 hours, I finally completed one of the 10 story endings without any help. I'm not trying the other 9. I'm not going through that repeat dialogue. No. Overall, 3 minutes to 8 is not for the impatient, which I'm guessing is why the reviews are mixed, aka not for the mainstream. I didn't have a good first impression of 3 minutes to 8. You have to carefully study each dialogue option and check every object for an item, which is painstaking. But if you stick with it, the grind gets good. That's if you enjoy point and click adventure games with difficult puzzles and don't mind the repetition of starting a new day. 3 minutes to 8 costs $15, which for a new game is fine. I say buyer beware with 3 minutes to 8. It's a very niche game which doesn't quite earn an after 8 out of 10.
I love watching the after eights go round the table after dinner. It's fascinating to see what people make of those elegant little envelopes.
Would you like the last after eight?
Oh no, I think I'll manage. Oh, thank you.
After eight, wafer thin nits.